Good Friday morning and welcome to Korea Today, brought to you live from Seoul.
Seoul and Pyongyang meet today in Panmunjom for talks to work out the details for what may become the first reunions for war-torn families in 3 years.
Arirang 5, Korea's latest multi-purpose satellite, is now up in orbit. We have the details in the headlines. 6-month report card for President Park Geun-hye is out. I'll tell you all about it in print.
What makes baseball one of the more popular sports here in the country? We'll find out as we celebrate Baseball Day here in Korea.
Their helmets, their dance moves, and their costumes, and the crazy addictive song, Pa Pa Pa. We look into how Korean pop rose from a no-name to a big name. It's a staple dish for Korean feasts, japchae, but it's a lot of work, so you think. Wait until Chef Matthew Chung shows you a quick and simple way live on this Friday, August 23rd, 2013.
From Arirang News, this is Korea Today.
And a good Friday morning to you. Thank you for joining us on Korea Today.
Welcome to Korea Today on a rainy Friday morning in Seoul. It's like Mother Nature knows today is Cheoseok, one of 24 seasonal divisions. It's when temperatures are supposed to start dropping and crickets start chirping as well.
All right.
The classic sign of autumn, right?
Yeah, that's right. And you're hearing it right now. It somehow brings sort of a serene atmosphere and an ambience to the evenings for fall. But today also happens to be Baseball Day. Now, this was established in 2009 in commemoration of South Korea's 2008 Beijing Olympics gold medal in baseball, which was the first and the last, because that was the last time baseball was included in an Olympic event.
That's right. And that's why Koreans are near fanatics when it comes to baseball. Our S.J. Lee will break it down for us. And I'm telling you, it's not just the good-looking baseball players. Right?
All right, we have that and much more coming up on Korea Today. Let's start with our headlines.
Korea's new multi-purpose satellite Arirang 5 has successfully established contact with the ground station in Antarctica 32 minutes after lifting off from Russia at 11:39 p.m. Thursday, Korea time. The signals were once again picked up by a satellite station in Norway about an hour and a half after the first communication.
Depending on how we process the signals, we can obtain tremendous amounts of information that are invisible to our eyes. The satellite offers more variety in terms of information gathering in some ways.
With a special synthetic radar, the Korea Aerospace Research Institute says the new satellite will make valuable contributions in many areas such as ocean management, disasters, and land monitoring. The Arirang 5 will go through an initial operation phase of 6 months before full utilization. South and North Korea will meet at the truce village of Panmunjom on this Friday to discuss holding reunions for families separated by the Korean War. The meeting will begin from 10 a.m. A 3-member delegation from the Red Cross of each side will discuss the scale and site of what would be the first reunion in 3 years. Some possible locations for the event are Mount Kumgang, Seoul, and Pyongyang. South Korea's Unification Ministry says it will put a priority on reuniting as many aging family members as possible, since more than 80% of the 73,000 registered separated families members in the South are over the age of 70. For now, Seoul is aiming to hold a reunion sometime around the middle of next month to coincide with Chuseok, the Korean Thanksgiving holiday. Global credit rating agency Fitch has reaffirmed Korea's sovereign rating of AA-, saying the country has been dealing well with global financial risks. The agency also noted that Korea's outlooks were stable. Household debt in the nation remains high, but Fitch said Seoul had a sound macroeconomic policy framework, adding that the flexibility of it can also be a buffer against debt affecting household economies. Fitch has maintained Korea's AA- rating since September last year, when it was upgraded from A+. And speaking of Korea's high household debts, it rose to a record high of 980 trillion won or $875 billion in the second quarter. The Bank of Korea attributed the rise to an increase in home loans, and with the government planning on reviving the sluggish property market, many predict the household debt will surpass the quadrillion won mark within this year.
Non-banking sector loans are increasing and so is the default rate. The situation is worsening, even in terms of quality. This year's debt is nearing the level that was seen during the global financial crisis.
And with fears of another financial crisis spilling over from Asia's emerging economies, experts say it is crucial for Korea to prevent the nation's interest rates from rising and well manage its fiscal state.
Good morning and happy Friday. Building off of what Hyung-kyung just mentioned, I want to begin today by giving you a bit more detail on the family reunion talks that are to take place today. Now let's take a closer look at our first newspaper, Gyeongyang Shinmun. The headline up here reads, "Family reunion talks today, families to meet as early as end of next month." Now the Daily tells us that at today's family reunion talks, the two sides will discuss the venue, date, and the number of separated family members that will take part in the upcoming reunion. Once the details are finalized, this will become the first reunion to be held since back in October 2010, according to the paper. On separate plans to hold talks on reopening the Mount Kumgang Resort, North Korea has expressed hope that the talks will be held either at the end of this month or early next month, which is sooner than South Korea's proposed date of September 25th. Now let's move on over to our next daily, 중앙일보. The headline up here reads, "Loses points with appointment, bounces back with North Korea." Now, in just 2 days on August 25th, this will mark the first 6 months since President Park Geun-hye took office, and the paper looks at our approval rating during that period. So let's take a closer look at the graph right over here. Now, the paper calls President Park a slow starter based on the graph here, which shows our approval rating at 44% back in March, which hit 54% as of last week. So to look at some of the things that caused ups and downs during that period, the president faced a lot of difficulty with her nominations for government key positions. This point at 41% right over here back in April is from when the presidential office issued an apology for the botched nominations, but it was criticized for being a 17-second insincere apology. Another one of the president's low approval ratings at 51% came from a sex scandal involving a former president aide, Yoon Chang-jung, as you can see right under. But here there's a significant rise to 60% where you see North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. The paper notes that President Park's handling of North Korea and foreign affairs let this rise. Now, she managed to bring Pyongyang back to the negotiating table by holding a firm stance and strengthen relations with Beijing after her summit meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping back in July. Now, looking back at this past few weeks, the approval ratings is down again, and this, according to the paper, is because of her recent tax reform plan, which would have raised tax rates for many, leaving her rating to stand as 54% as of last week. Now, the thing I want to point out here before moving on is that the paper tells us that this 54% approval rating is still higher than the two preceding presidents, according to the paper. So it seems President Park is not off to a bad start. Now let's go on over to our next daily, 조선일보. The headline up here reads, "Korea always shaken during financial crisis, different this time." So this is in regard to the United States Federal Reserve's plans to start winding down its stimulus in September, which kickstarted a major outflow of foreign capital from emerging countries. But the article points out that Korea, among the developing countries, remains relatively safe from this trend. When comparing the currency fluctuations between the emerging countries, Korea saw its local currency rise by the biggest margin, and when comparing interest rates for 10-year bonds, Korea saw them them rise by 0.5%, which is the second highest following Taiwan. The reason for Korea's financial soundness, the paper says, is the country's stronger foreign exchange holding and improved current account balance. Now let's go on over to our last daily Mail Business newspaper and take a look. The headline here reads, soaring prices, oil subsidy ends. Indonesia's currency and stocks plunge, leaves people restless. The article talks about the current economic conditions that Indonesia is facing, more specifically about the government's decision to raise fuel prices in June, which has placed a heavy burden on the people who have been used to having half of their fuel price subsidized. The country's stock market has also been hit hard after it became evident that the U.S. Fed Reserve, like I mentioned earlier, will start to scale back its stimulus this year, according to the paper. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at the graph right over here. It shows the U.S. dollar to rupiah exchange rate fell to 11,120 on Thursday. Now, the paper notes it fell to as low as 11,165 at one point during the day, which is the lowest in over 4 years since the financial crisis back in 2009. Now, Indonesia's benchmark index was also down by 1.11%. We'll leave it at that for your look on what's in print today. Next up are your closing numbers from Thursday's market action.
Time now to get a check on the weather. It was pouring on the way to work this morning.
Yes. In some areas, strong rain, and at times it just stopped. We call that the guerrilla rainfall. And for a look at today's weather and what we can expect, we'll join Idami. Good morning, Dami.
Good morning, Dami. Still raining.
Happy Friday morning. Today I'm reporting live from Gangnam. It is still raining cats and dogs this morning. We are receiving about 50 millimeters of rain per hour along with lightning and ferocious thunder. Now, central regions are under heavy rain advisories. As for the west coastal areas of South Chungcheong Province and Incheon are under heavy rain warnings. Now, here in Seoul, Gyeonggi and Gangwon Province, we can expect the rain to let up by the afternoon. As for down south, the thunderstorms or the showers are expected to start later in the evening and continue until tomorrow. Now, current temperatures this morning are a bit cooler than yesterday at 24 degrees Celsius. However, once the conditions clear up, hot weather conditions are going to return along with tropical nights. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the mercury levels around Korea. Now, here in the nation's capital, highs will peak up to 31. Daejeon will be the coolest at 28. Daegu and Gangneung at 30. Busan and Gwangju at 29, as Jeju will peak to 33 degrees. Please take care on the roads, and for those of you on your last-minute vacations, be careful near the mountains or the seashore. That's all I have for the weather forecast. Have a great weekend. I'm Idami, Korea Today.
Thank you very much, Tommy. It's 7:13 a.m. on this Friday morning on Korea Today. And if you remember a time when the Tucson Bears were the OB Bears, then you've been following Korean baseball for quite some time. And since then, Korean baseball has grown in popularity exponentially. And since today is Baseball Day, we have SJ joining us to talk more about this popularity. Good morning.
Happy Baseball Day, guys.
Happy
It's
Baseball
obviously
Day.
A great day for all the baseball fans out there. It's no surprise that from, I guess, 1982 when the KBO first launched, you see now, 2013, we're seeing, like you said, an exponential amount of fans coming out to the ballparks. But a lot of people want to know why all of a sudden. It's not like it's been like that for 30 plus years. During the past couple of years, we've seen a boom in the KBO. We want to know why there's been such a huge popularity boom in the sport. Of course, there's different reasons why there is. We'll find out a little bit about why fans keep coming out to the ballpark by taking a look at a short video clip. As of August 19th, KBO fan attendance hit over 5 million this season. Since 2008, the league saw at least 5 million fans for 6 straight years. Not just at the ballparks, but the league saw over 450 million in viewership through TV, internet, and mobile TV. It's no surprise that baseball is one of the most, if not the most, popular sport. But what's the reason behind the boom here in the nation? It all started when Korea finished third in the 2006 World Baseball Classic. After that, Korea won gold during the 2008 Beijing Olympics as female fans started getting interested. And the Korea Baseball Organization became a more competitive league with flashy plays. The KBO and the 9 teams in the league continue to provide the fans with special services, turning the ballparks into a fun place to visit, causing a huge boom in the nation.
Baseball tickets are cheap, and on top of the non-stop excitement that the sport itself provides, there is also the fun fan culture that makes it popular.
And this is the reason why people continue to go out to the ballparks.
I came to cheer for my team.
I came to see my team, of course, and blow off some steam.
Korean baseball fans are known as arguably the most passionate baseball fans in the world. Along with the cheerleaders, they join in one voice, and there's a reason why they cheer so passionately.
If the team that I come to see wins, it feels great. And even if they don't, I get to blast off some stress with the people that I come with.
I can feel sweat dripping even just sitting here, but that's what I like because I feel like I can share this moment with the players on the field.
And another reason why Korean fans get into the sport is because it can be a place for anyone to enjoy. You can cheer as you're having a barbecue at the ballpark. And you can even pitch a tent as your entire family can enjoy a visit to the ballparks.
I love that the entire family can come here and the children love it.
Another reason why Korean baseball is so popular. It's the diverse food that's available. Not only can you bring food in, you can also order jjajangmyeon. But the one menu that gets the most love is chicken and beer, or chimek, is the most popular choice at the ballparks. And you can see that from the number of fans at the ballpark enjoying it.
We see more than double in sales. When we have games on, we're really busy.
So what's baseball to the Korean fans?
Baseball is to a lot of fans not only a sport but also part of their daily lives, or a cultural phenomenon. We are seeing it put its roots down in society regardless of people's ages or generation.
It's a place where all the foreigners now want to visit here in Korea. But what's the best part about baseball for the foreign fans?
Winning the game is also important, but the fact that people enjoy the ballpark culture is different from other countries. And it's something that is becoming more established as a culture unique to Korea.
So it sounds like the cheering and the snacks are just the cherry on top. It's actually the success of the national team that's driving people to these ballparks.
Right, exactly. I mean, obviously, when baseball started in 1982 here in Korea, there was a boom because everyone was excited because there was a new league. Baseball was kicking off here in Korea, but it wasn't like that for the 30-plus years that the league's been going on for now. In fact, 2006, when the World Baseball Classic first kicked off, you saw Korea finish off in third place. And everyone started going, this is interesting. They're doing a good job. And you see all these players playing in the domestic leagues, so they get into it. But the big one was obviously the 2008 Olympics when they won the gold medal against Cuba. And in fact, Baseball Day today is based on, basically 5 years ago today is when Korea won the gold medal in the Olympics.
Right, I remember that day.
Right, everyone remembers that. And it was such a, I guess, a great day that we obviously call it Baseball Day now. But we see how these people, like even people that don't really know much about baseball, because there are a lot of complex rules in the sport. And basically they get into baseball through these international games and they go, let me check out the domestic leagues, because some of the players that I saw, they were doing so well in international games that I want to check it out in the domestic stadiums. They go out and basically they kind of get curious to how the baseball games are here in Korea. And then they go, obviously, you see the cheering, you see all that's going on in the game, and that's basically the hook. But the main reason why people initially wanted to come out to the ballparks was because of the success from the international teams. And unfortunately, this year, when the World Baseball Classic took place, Korea didn't fare as well as they did in 2006 and 2009. And we've kind of seen a dip in the attendance rate this season.
Right. But Korea is known to have a pretty strong female baseball fan base. And
You're looking at one.
Yes, one right here. I'm one of those people. But I mean, it certainly can't be just because of how the players look.
No, it's definitely not.
Although that helps.
Yeah.
I actually
That'd
get
be a hook.
surprised time to time to see how many female fans there are nowadays in the baseball games, because I remember several years back I would go and I would say about 70% of the fans were male fans. And then every year it kind of gradually goes up and to the point where now if I go to a game, it's like almost 50-50.
Yeah.
We see 50 females, and there's even times when I see more female fans than male fans. And I think the reason for that is because, like I said, the international games kind of hooks the female fans into liking it, because as you know, even non-football fans, when the World Cups happen, they really get into soccer, and then all of a sudden people go out to the stadiums and all that stuff. So it's no surprise that there are more female fans, and like I said, it's the international games and then the cheering that gets them to continue coming out.
And also the kids and the children out there and the aspiring baseball players, they love seeing their idols. I mean, they're the people that they want to be like. Now, filling up the stadiums is all great and all, but a wise man once said that with success and popularity comes big responsibilities. Now,
Spider-Man?
Wise man, yeah.
I got it from him, actually. It was from the part 3 there.
Right.
But you see like soccer players like Park Ji-sung, who came back to Korea, established the Ji-sung Football Center, and he's giving back to the community. What kind of things are we seeing in the KBO and also the community of baseball?
That's actually the reason why we're seeing a higher attendance rate here in the country, because names like Park Chan-ho, who came back to the KBO last year, even after he retired, not only did he just go, wait, I made my money, I'm out of here. He actually donated all of his salary that he made last year to further, further advance youth system, the youth baseball, and also amateur baseball as well. The commissioner of the KBO actually donated his own money to build stadiums in Daegu, because Daegu is a huge baseball city, but yet there's very little facilities. So the league is doing a lot for it. The teams are doing a lot to bring in the fans, and also some of the players are putting in their own money and time to, make the league more advanced.
Foster the future.
That's right.
And also give back for the love that they've received, right?
Exactly.
Thank you, SJ, for that. Interesting story.
Happy
Always a
Baseball
pleasure.
Day.
Happy Baseball Day, guys.
All right, still ahead on Korea today. Its English title is Bar Bar Bar, but in Korean we call it Pa Pa Pa. It's the latest song by a group called Crayon Pop. It's got some quirky, addictive tunes, not to mention the funky dance moves. We look at what makes the quintet pop with their one-of-a-kind style. We just talked about sports, but it's baseball season, yes, of course, in Korea. And the spirit of sports is spilling over to fashion these days.
Okay, we're talking about that sporty look, right? You see it on the streets and you can identify it with it as well. It's comfortable, it's sporty, it's neat, chic, all that and more. Let's get a look at this trend.
The late summer heat continues, and so does the love for the comfortable but chic sporty look. The trend, which is popular with many fashion people, is expected to continue for some time.
With normal casual wear, you can emphasize comfort as well, but the sporty look uses fabrics that are more conducive to a lot more movement, and it fits well on the body. On top of that, these clothes are more fashionable, so it will remain popular for the time being.
It's sneakers more than high heels, casual wear more than suits. we look at how to sport the sporty look. The first thing that comes to mind is the sports uniforms that athletes wear. Be it basketball, soccer, or baseball, most come with uniform numbers. The first way to embrace the sporty look is by wearing a numbered t-shirt, a plain t-shirt with a number printed across it, which plays on the simple idea of uniform numbers.
If you wear a t-shirt with a logo and denim shorts, you can create a stylish look. Also, wearing mesh fabric t-shirts that are very casual with denim shorts also works well. And you can also work out in it or just go about your daily routine.
Then what's the most popular passion in the sporty look trend?
It's stripe patterns. You see striped uniforms for a lot of baseball teams and soccer teams as well.
Striped t-shirts and numbered t-shirts have been long loved, but they're back with more romantic or sexy looks, giving off a completely different vibe for people to mix-match their clothes with. Meanwhile, the see-through look is another way to jazz up your athletic style. Wear a dark-coloured innerwear under a bright-coloured see-through t-shirt to create a sexy but sporty style. You can also try out sleeveless shirts with large armholes or short sleeves. And of course, many celebrities are donning this sporting look, turning the heads of many trendsetters. Who are some of the stars that sport this stylish look? First up is Clara, currently one of the hottest stars on the scene in Korea. And with this head-spinning look, Clara became a first-to-pitch sensation.
She came wearing skinny leggings and high-top sneakers. Also, the strip patterns she wore accentuated her body line.
Next up is G-Dragon. The singer mix-matches a sporty and funky style, creating his own signature look and draws the eyes of many. And there's also 21CL, who is widely popular with her new song, Do You Love Me? CL has secured her position as a fashionista with a sporty but one-of-a-kind look. By matching up pants with unique details and t-shirts or bra tops with skirts, she puts on a sexy but sporty look, leading the trend. It's not only clothes but also shoes and hats that can add to this look.
These make up for the uncomfortable aspects of high heels, and people wear them a lot, so they can put on a sporty look.
Snapbacks are one of the most popular accessories in creating a sporty look.
Snapbacks give off a stylish look, and in the summertime like this, they can help block out ultraviolet rays, so they're popular.
It's comfortable but yet full of room to play around with. How about trying out the casual but fiercely fun sporty look to get through the last stretch of summer?
One good thing about sporty looks, I would say, is that you can really mix and match with your other clothes. I mean, I'm no fashion expert, but I know enough to know that one sporty item can really accentuate your whole outfit.
Right. And before, if you say sporty, it meant tomboyish and just very tomboy-like. But these days, there are a lot of feminine touches that
but
you can...
sexy, I would say, too.
Yeah, you gotta pick the one with the right line, and just like you said, mix and matching, which I know nothing about. So, and yeah, that is the latest trend. And we're gonna be joined by Denny Hong, who'll be talking about the group Crayon Pop and their brand new single "Ba Ba Ba," which is rising up the charts. But first, we'll take a look at how they fared in this week's top 5.
며칠 전 사랑하는 그녀와 헤어진 주위 그냥 아는 사람 힘들고 많이 슬퍼하던데 너는 어떻게 생각해?
It's time for K Entertainment. Some of you might remember seeing a 5-member girl group some 8 months ago on our show, and back then Young Kim had a hard time remembering their name. He said, Crayon what? But now he knows, everyone else knows.
Now. It's Crayon Pop.
Right, Crayon Pop. And here to tell us more is Denny Hong, who actually met the group, right? Back
Exactly.
in December.
Has it been that long already? So shortly after their debut last year, I did get to spend the whole day with them actually. So it was one of those just day in the life of an artist. And so I met them from the morning all the way up until their entire practice. And I guess for them, a lot of the stuff they were doing was guerrilla marketing, right? So it was a lot of fun to see their transformation from then up till now because their popularity has grown immensely. So let's see what is making them popular so much right now on the charts. The first hidden charm is the amusing so-called straight 5 engine dance. If Psy's horse dance swept the stage last year, this year the straight 5 engine dance is in. Be it police officers, soldiers, or other celebrities, we're seeing an endless stream of spoof videos emerge on this dance.
The straight 5 engine dance gives off the image of engine cylinders moving up and down, while there's a cute bouncy movement to it. So it's fun to watch and delightful in many ways.
Another reason for the quintet's popularity is their costumes. A recent article published by US Billboard Online referred to the girl group's unusual clothing and helmets, likening them to the Power Rangers. This one-of-a-kind color of crayon pop has helped them gain popularity from men, women, the young, and the old alike. Why is it that the quintet was able to grab the hearts of so many male fans in the midst of the strong sex appeal of other girl groups?
Because people are aware that other girl groups are extremely well-produced packages. Crayon Pop has a fresh image and they seem more like the cute girls next door.
So is it simply their rare style that has swept up the public? It's also their proactive communication with their fans and the public on top of their unique style that made this possible. The group, in their much unknown time shortly after debuting, were unable to break out in the music scene and instead chose to directly showcase their music to the public with street guerrilla concerts. Through this experience, Crayon Pop was able to understand what it is that people want and like, and many of their fans remember them for this. With their extraordinary efforts to reach out to people, the group has grabbed the attention of fans not only in Korea, but also overseas. Spoof videos of the group are flooding social media websites, adding to the quintet's popularity, a reason why many have dubbed them the next Psy. Even Billboard also praised Crayon Pop, saying the group will likely become the next global sensation following Psy. With this sudden surge in popularity, the 5-piece girl group has signed an album licensing deal with Sony Music Entertainment Korea, as well as agreeing to a strategic partnership. This is a likely sign that Crayon Pop could soon be going global.
If they use their unique style and continue to develop it as their own, I think they have a chance overseas.
Meanwhile, Crayon Pop is scheduled to introduce a second version of their widely popular Ba 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 music video early September with added elements of fun. The new music video will also focus on unexpected fun factors, and many have their eyes on whether the girl group's quirky and amusing humor will give them a broader stage abroad.
앞으로도 많이 사랑해주세요.
Closing scene is, of course, from December,
It was
and you
freezing.
learn some of their moves. And we had joked that you should consider joining the group, and only if you had joined the group you would be making millions
No,
of
that's
dollars.
okay. But I did learn a little bit of their dancing queen actually, so a little embarrassing, but the dance was very cute. And I think that's part of the appeal that they had because when you come to the groups here in Korea, there's really only two, I think, standards. Either be very sexy or very cute, but they just went the other way and went just the awkward, goofy concept, right? But it's working for them. I'm very happy that they are doing so well right now.
It really did work for them from street performances to superstardom, but their popularity has been met with some criticism as well. I understand they filmed an ad for an online shopping company, and that was dropped soon after because of some controversy.
Well, I think the controversy, I'm not saying it's blown out of proportion, but I think it does come with popularity. Now, I don't know any celebrity in Korea that hasn't had their bout with a little bit of controversy here and there. So whether it's going to be something that really affects their career in the long run or something that's going to just blow over by next week, we really can't be sure. But I think we got to look around and see what the actual motivation behind the controversy might be. But I really wouldn't look too deep into it right now. I think their biggest concern is their follow-up. What's their next song? What's their next concept? Can they show to be more than a one-hit wonder? I think that's the biggest problem right now.
Because that is the thing right now with this popularity. People are also wondering at the end, is there a light at the end of this tunnel?
Yeah.
Is it going to be a one-hit wonder?
Exactly. They have said they had their next track already picked out. They're just working on the concept as to what costumes they're going to wear and what kind of dance they're going to be doing.
What I was wondering was their helmets. I mean, we talked about sporty look and how it's, being a really trendy kind of way of dressing, but they are really going all out with sporty looks,
Yeah,
right?
the delivery look mixed with the sporting look.
It's like they're going to bring some food to you, right? Well, the helmets definitely, and of course the track pantsuits, which they carried over from their previous acts too. But the helmets came about because there was actually a bike store over in Chungmuro, Seoul, so they were given these helmets. They were like, what are we going to do with this? Initially, they were a little bit hesitant, but after they warmed up to the idea of the helmets, they kind of, I think, formed the dance routine afterwards. So I think the helmets definitely gave that straight five engine dance, which has become very popular right now for parodies online.
All right, guys, do you want to try Korea Today's version of Pa 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 right now?
I know this part.
You can do it.
It's
All
like,
right, never mind.
No,
Thank you,
thank you.
Denny, for that story.
probably get a heart attack trying to do those dances there. Thank you very much, Denny. And stay with us on Korea Today because still ahead on our program, if you've heard of japchae, then it is one of the classic dishes that we always see on many different party tables in Korea. It may seem like it's hard to make, but Chef Matthew Chung, he's going to make sense of it for you and give us the quick way to do it later on Korea Today.
And a good Friday morning to you all as we kick things off in the world of basketball. Now, the 2013 Pro Amateur Competition Finals took place between Korea University and the defending champion Sangwoo, the military team. But after 4 quarters, it was Lee Jong-hyun and the Korea University squad that took home that trophy. The 19-year-old freshman dominates the paint, scoring 21 points on 12 boards, helping Korea University beat Sangwoo 75-67. After receiving 74 out of 75 votes, Lee Jong-hyun was also named the tournament's MVP after averaging 22.3 points per game and 14 boards per game as well. The 206-centimeter center, who is also part of the Korean national team during the Asian Basketball Championships. And speaking of the national team, manager Hong Myung-bo is over in Europe checking out his overseas players. Will be announcing his roster for the upcoming match against Haiti on the 27th. Now, for the first time since taking over the managerial position, manager Hong will have his European players available. But with the striker position already crowded, it'll be up to the manager to decide who he'll choose going into the match against Haiti. With the Korean national football team lacking offense in the past few matches, his announcement on the 27th is getting all the more spotlight. And so with that said, moving on to some Thursday night's KBO action as the Nexen Heroes beat the NC Dinos 6-1 with Park Byung-ho hitting his 24th home run of the season. Also, the Tusan Bears continue to struggle as they lose to the Samsung Lions 4-2. So with that said, let's take a look at the other two games that took place, starting off with the LG Twins taking on the SK Wyverns. Of course, shifting over to the game here, we're going to go over to the second inning of the game. LG's Yoon Yo-sup RBI single to center gives the LG Twins the early 1-0 lead. But at the bottom of the inning, here's EJ1 sends one deep to right field. This one, a solo shot. And the game's tied 1-1. Third inning, here's Chejung this time with one man on deep to center. This one is gone. A two-run shot as SK takes the lead 3-1. Seventh inning, Chung Sang-ho at bat, and this one swung on and driven to deep left. A solo shot for Chung Sang-ho as SK now takes the lead 4-1. Eighth inning of the game, more SK offense. EJ1 once again on RBI double to right field makes it 5-1 before Cho Dong-hwa is going to make this one 6-1 with an RBI single to center. SK holds on to take this game 6-1 as LG drops for the second straight night. And next up, the two struggling teams in the league, the Hanwha Eagles taking on the Kia Tigers. First inning, Kim Tae-gyun drills an RBI double to left, scoring Lee Dae-soo for the first run of the game. Next inning, here is Lee Yang-gi of the Hanwha Eagles. Here he goes, sends one deep to left field. This one back, gone, and it's 2-0 Hanwha. Third inning, Kim Tae-gyun once again, he's gonna ground one to the pitcher. Check this out. Goes to second, and he throws this away, scores another run for the Hanwha Eagles. We're not done yet. Fifth inning, here's Che Jin-heng this time, and he's gonna single here to left field, making it 4-0 Hanwha. Sixth inning, Kia gets on board thanks to Na Ji-won, an RBI single to center, cuts the deficit to 4-1. Ninth inning of the game, here's more Kia Tigers. Big Choi Che-hee-sup, sac fly to deep right, scores another for the Kia Tigers. Before this next batter here, Lee Jong-hwan, he's going to make this 4-3 thanks to an RBI single to center. Next batter though, An Chi-hong, he grounds out to short, and the rally is cut short as Hanwha hangs on to take this game 4-3, your final score. And of course, staying in baseball, but over in Japan, where big boy Lee Dae-ho goes yard for the second straight night, hitting his 20th home run of the season against the SoftBank Hawks. Now he will go 2 for 5 in the game as the Oryx Buffaloes take the game 5-1. That's also the second straight season where Lee Dae-ho hit at least 20 home runs since coming over to Japan. And with that said, this time we go over to the major leagues where Choo-Choo Train Choo Shin-soo continues to raise his value as he finished off Wednesday night's game against the Arizona Diamondbacks, going 4 for 5 with 3 ribbies, including a leadoff home run in the first inning of the game to start things off. Now he was just short of a cycle as the Cincinnati Reds took this game 10-7. And with that said, finishing things off in the UFC, where things aren't looking too good for the Korean zombie Chung Chang-sung after dislocating his shoulder during the championship fight against Jose Aldo during UFC 163. After getting the surgery on his shoulder, his manager believes that he won't be able to return this year, adding that he might even be out for an entire year. Now, the Korean zombie has long been a fan favorite in the UFC as he hopes to return to the ring for another shot at the UFC Featherweight Championship. And that's going to wrap it up for me. This has been SJ. Have a great rest of the day and see you guys again for your sports needs.
don't know, eats is all good, but I'd rather be at the water park right now.
I'm telling
riding on
you,
some
we
of those
should do our
rides.
show
I
in
want to
that
learn
pool.
how to surf.
You know, I can teach you. I surfed for a couple years
Okay,
way
deal.
back in the day, but I'm not sure how my feet are these days. All right, today on Korea Eats, we're going to be learning about how to make japchae from Matthew Chung. Is japchae that difficult to make? Because my mother always had it on the table every time we had some kind of special occasion.
A lot of ingredients to put in, and they have to be seasoned separately. So, but Matthew Chung will make sense of all this, right?
All right, so he has a way to make it within about 15 minutes or so. So we'll see what's up with that.
Let's find out.
All right, Matthew.
Hey, Matthew.
How's it going, guys? So not just 15 minutes, but good morning, guys. So not 15 minutes, but today we're gonna make japchae 5 minutes. And it can be done. I'll show you how. But first, let's take a look at the recipe. Oh, or rather, so we're just gonna go right into it. So you know what? Let's start the timer. 5 minutes on the clock. Let's go. Okay, first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna turn our heat on. There we go. A little bit of oil right in the pan. The trick to getting this done quickly is to use multiple pans because, you know, like you said before, it has to all be seasoned separately, but if you do it intelligently, you cook them in the right order, they'll all be cooked perfectly and seasoned perfectly. So, toss the pork in the pan right here. Give it a little bit soy sauce, a little bit of sesame oil, some sugar, and some sesame seeds. Stir this guy up. Give it a couple tosses, ready to chop our onions. So.
Oh, look at that.
All right,
hand
onions
movement
chopped.
there.
Toss a little bit of oil in
only
this
if you
pan, a
can
little
move
bit
like
more. This pan's gonna get a lot of different food in there. All right.
Oh, japchae is one of those
So
dishes
give that a little toss. Next we're
your
gonna do the
guests
carrots.
all
Carrots, we're not gonna
wanted,
mess with a
but
knife. We're gonna go with a
not easy.
mandolin. And with this, you can shave it nice and thin in seconds.
Watch your hand there, Matthew.
Et voila. Carrots are done. Oh, safety first, as always. All right, give that another little toss. Same thing with the carrots and the onions. All right, next we're gonna do our mushrooms. All we're gonna do is just take the stems out. 1, 2, 3. Let's go for 4. I like a lot of mushrooms in my japchae. Nice and thin. Thin to win. All right. Now, of course, if you were to do this slowly and everything separately, it would taste better and you'd be able to spend a little bit more time, but you know what? For 5 minutes, this is still a delicious dish. All right. There we go. Now it's time to do our garlic. Garlic, who has time to mince it really fine? All we're gonna do is bam. 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Taekwondo chop.
Right.
I would say it only takes 5
Plenty
minutes.
of garlic in here. I like a lot of garlic in my
That's
japchae.
true. Only Matthew
just
can do it.
crush
There
it
we
like
go.
that, not
It'll
even
take
cutting,
like
right?
35 minutes, I think.
All right, we have. All right, left on the clock, we have 2 minutes and 20 seconds. We're cutting it close.
The clock is ticking, Matthew.
Our pork is almost cooked all the way through. Last step is our spinach. Spinach, just cut it nice and thin. Now, the thing with spinach is that it cooks very quickly, and the less you cook it, the more of the nutrients you get to keep in there. So we're just gonna cut it really fine in there. This gets our seasoning now. All right, hear that sizzle. Some more sugar and some sesame. Now it's time for our noodles. I blanched the noodles off ahead of time. All we're gonna do is just take them out and squeeze out all that extra moisture. Remember, the more water you have in the dish, the more diluted it'll be. So you want to get as much water as possible. All right, into the pan it goes. Pork goes in the pan all together. There we go.
Oh, that looks
Wow.
good.
All right, how much time do we have left? We got a minute left? Huh.
And you're almost done.
You know what?
So
Just
it's
spend a little
actually
bit of
4
time cleaning up here.
Wow, it's one of those dishes
That's
that
right. I
even
mean,
kids and
you know what?
the
One of my
elderly,
culinary
they all
instructors
love
always
this
said that a
dish,
messy
right?
board
You
is a
can't go
messy
wrong with
mind.
this.
So
I mean, really.
we're clean. All right, toss a little bit more. Now, as far as I'm concerned, more than any other dish, japchae is a real crowd pleaser, which is why you see it in so many parties and whatnot. So, let's give this another nice little toss. You want to make sure that the noodles get to cook a little through in the pan, so it gets all that seasoning in there. Wipe down a little bit more. All right, how much time do we have left? I have 20 seconds. All right, looks like it's time to plate. There I go, right in that plate.
Wow, that is a full dish of japchae within 5 minutes, huh?
All right, clean
Hard to
the
believe.
sides a little bit.
Minutes with
All right,
time
3,
to spare.
2, 1, time's up. 5 minutes.
Now bring it
japchae,
in here,
done.
please.
Okay,
Wow.
And that's
the
all
thing.
it really takes. In 5 minutes. And you know what? I'm hungry right now. It's time for breakfast. So back to you guys in the studio. I'm going to enjoy this myself.
All right, Matthew, thank you very much for that.
But before that, though, one thing I want to say about japchae is that it's a childhood favorite. And you know what? What is it? Y'all have a great day.
He made it look so easy.
Right.
I mean, wow, that
His
looks
hands
great.
were just going all over the place.
But the only thing is that we just can't taste it here. That's the only
That is my
flaw.
biggest problem here.
Why? Did he have to do that outside?
Exactly. It looks good, but we don't know if it tastes good. It's
And
my
next time
only
we'll be sure to
concern.
have him here in the studio with us. But it is great. 5-minute japchae side here on Korea Today.
All right, that's all we have prepared for you on this Friday morning.
Okay, so happy Choseol and also happy baseball day to everyone. Oh yeah,
I'm sure a lot of action going on around the country,
Exactly.
right?
And there are some baseball stadiums that are giving discounted ticket prices for games today, so you might want to check that out. And have a great rest of the day. We'll see you back here on Monday.
Have a fantastic weekend, everyone. Bye-bye.